Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive. Today, you're going to be looking at something pretty interesting. It's the intersection of poetry, self-discovery, and empathy. We've got this fascinating excerpt that analyzes the poem Let It Be. And alongside this excerpt, we've got some pretty compelling research findings that I think will make us all think about how our digitally driven lives can sometimes clash with this deep yearning to embrace vastness, a feeling that poetry often invites us to. So have you ever felt that pull to venture outside your comfort zone, even if it's a little scary? That's exactly where we're headed today.
Yeah, one of the things that really struck me about this poem, Let It Be, is how it starts with such a strong call to action. It's like right out of the gate, it's urging the reader or listener to venture outside tonight, to leave behind the familiar comforts of home.
It's interesting that you say that because the analysis actually points out how this call to venture outside can be understood on a couple of different levels, right? So on the one hand, it's literally saying like, hey, step outside your physical house. But then on a deeper level, it's also talking about this metaphorical journey of self-discovery, this willingness to explore the uncharted territories of our own, hearts and minds.
Exactly. And it's fascinating how the source material connects this idea of venturing outside to this big concept of embracing the vastness of the universe. It contrasts this with the kind of limited and curated experiences we often have online, and it suggests that maybe by staying within our comfortable digital bubbles, we're missing out on the richness and complexity of the real world.
It's like we're kind of trading those genuine moments of exploration and those unexpected encounters for this illusion of control and comfort that we get in our online spaces. But here's where it gets really, really interesting. The excerpt cites a study from the American Psychological Association, and it found that engaging in new experiences can actually boost creativity by like a huge amount, like 50%.
Wow, 50%. I mean, that's pretty significant. Think about that for a second. Just by stepping outside your routine, trying new things, and exposing yourself to different perspectives, you can unlock a whole new level of creative potential within yourself.
It's inspiring, right? It makes you wonder, what kind of experiences are we missing out on when we just stick with what's familiar?
Yeah.
What creative sparks could be ignited if we dared to venture a little further outside our comfort zones?
And the source really highlights how these ventures don't have to be these huge life-altering events. Even small changes to your daily routine can have a big impact.
Huh?
Try a new food, go to a local museum you've never been to before, strike up a conversation with a stranger. These small acts of exploration, they can open up whole new worlds of experience and understanding.
I love that. It makes me think of those lines in the poem that talk about the towering solitary tree against the dark sky. It evokes such a feeling of stillness and introspection, like you're being invited to think about the vastness of the universe and your place in it.
Absolutely. The poem emphasizes how important solitude is for self-discovery. It's in those quiet moments, away from the noise and distractions of everyday life, that we can really confront our deepest thoughts and feelings and start to understand those complex layers of our own inner landscapes.
And the research actually supports that, right?
Yeah.
The source mentions a Harris poll that found over 70% of people felt more empathetic after spending some time alone in reflection. It seems counterintuitive, but it looks like solitude can actually boost our capacity for empathy and connection.
Yeah, and that's because self-awareness is like the foundation for empathy. When we take the time to understand our own emotions, our own motivations and vulnerabilities, it gives us this deeper ability to recognize and connect with those same emotions in other people.
So it's not just about seeking out new experiences in the outside world. It's also about exploring the vastness within ourselves, right? It's about understanding those internal landscapes and maybe uncovering some hidden depths that we didn't even know we had.
Exactly. And, that exploration can be both exhilarating and challenging. It takes courage to face those parts of ourselves that we might prefer to keep hidden, those shadows and doubts that we often try to bury. But, it's often in those shadows that we find our greatest strengths and our deepest connections to humanity.
It's like embracing the full spectrum of human experience, right?
Yeah.
The light and the dark, the joy and the sorrow. It's all part of this incredible journey of self-discovery.
Absolutely. And the poem really encourages us to lean into that journey, to venture outside our comfort zones, to embrace the vastness both within and around us. And in doing so, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities and deeper connections.
It's a powerful message. And it reminds us that even in a world that's increasingly driven by technology and instant gratification,
Yeah.
there's still immense value in slowing down, disconnecting, and really tuning into ourselves and the world around us.
I couldn't agree more. And I think Let It Be serves as a beautiful reminder of that. And as we sort of dig deeper into this whole idea, exploring the vastness within us, I keep coming back to this really powerful line in the poem. In that moment, you hold the power to create and shape the world around you. You know,
Yeah.
it speaks to how transformative self-awareness can be and the incredible power we all have to create change both in ourselves and in the world.
Yeah, it's a really empowering line. And it makes
Mm.
me think about all the ways that creativity can be like a bridge between our inner world and the outer world.
Yeah.
You know, the source actually talks about how making art, writing, poetry, even just journaling can help us process emotions, make sense of our experiences, and in the end, shape our realities.
Right. When we're being creative, we're not just expressing ourselves, we're actively shaping how we understand the world and where we fit in. It's like we're taking these raw emotions, these complex thoughts and experiences, and we're molding them into something real, something we can hold in our hands or share with others.
Yeah. The source even brings up this study from Psychology Today, where they found that 85% of artists said they felt some relief from painful emotions when they expressed themselves creatively. It really shows how powerful art can be and how it can help us deal with even the toughest parts of being human.
That's so true. But what's really interesting is that the poem doesn't just tell us to create, it goes a step further and says, release it with closed eyes. It's like it's encouraging us to create without getting attached to the outcome, you know? Let go of that need for control or validation and just let our creations exist freely in the world.
It's a beautiful idea, isn't it? This whole concept of releasing our creations with closed eyes, it speaks to a sense of trust and surrender. Like we're willing to let go of our ego's need to grasp and control and just let the creative process happen naturally.
Exactly. And this act of letting go, this release with closed eyes, isn't just important for art, it's also a big part of cultivating empathy. When we hold on too tightly to our own perspectives and experiences, it becomes harder to really see and appreciate the world through someone else's eyes.
It's like we need to create space within ourselves, you know, a sense of openness and receptivity so we can fully embrace the vastness of human experience with all its complexity and diversity.
Exactly. And that brings us to the core of what we're talking about today, empathy. It's a theme that's woven through the whole poem and the analysis. It's this call to move beyond ourselves, to recognize that we're all interconnected, and to approach the world with compassion and understanding.
And I love how the source makes this connection between poetry and personal stories. It's saying that both have this power to capture all the little details of emotions and reveal those universal themes that connect us all. Whether it's the joy of love, the pain of loss, or that search for meaning, these are experiences that go beyond cultures and speak to what it means to be human.
And it's through these shared experiences, these glimpses into other people's lives and hearts, that we start to develop a deeper sense of empathy and understanding. You know, it's
Yeah.
like each story, each poem is a window into a different perspective. It expands our own view of the world and challenges us to see things in a new way.
The source even mentions a study from the University of California. They found that people who practice empathy regularly are 60% more likely to feel connected to their community. It's a good reminder that empathy isn't just some feel-good emotion. It's a really important social skill that makes our community stronger and helps us feel like we belong and are connected to each other.
And cultivating empathy isn't something that just happens on its own. It takes effort. It takes
Yeah.
a willingness to step outside of what's comfortable, to connect with people who are different from us, to listen with an open heart and mind, and to challenge our own biases and assumptions.
It's an ongoing journey of growth and self-discovery, and it's a journey that's closely tied to exploring the vastness of the world around us and the intricate landscapes within us. So as we come to the end of our deep dive into Let It Be and all this talk about empathy, I can't help but notice how the poem, the analysis, even the research at all, seems to point to this idea of embracing vastness, both within ourselves and in the world around us.
Yeah, it's like the poem is inviting us to step outside those little boxes we put ourselves in, to expand our awareness and recognize that everything's connected, and to approach life with a sense of wonder and possibility.
And that sense of wonder, that willingness to embrace the unknown, that's really what makes us human, isn't it? That's
You're
what
right.
drives us to explore, to create, to connect with others, and ultimately to find meaning and purpose in our lives.
Absolutely. And let it be reminds us that embracing vastness isn't some straight path. It's this ongoing journey of growth and evolution. It's filled with happy moments and sad moments, triumphs and setbacks, times of connection and times of solitude.
And it's through all those experiences, those moments where we face our fears, challenge our own thinking, and push ourselves outside our comfort zones that we truly discover who we are and what we can do.
You know that emphasis in the poem on letting go, on releasing our creations with closed eyes. It speaks to the importance of surrender and acceptance on this journey. It's about realizing we don't have all the answers, that life is full of uncertainty, and that real growth often comes from embracing the unknown with open hearts and open minds.
It's about letting go of that need to control everything, to grasp at things, to force them to be a certain way,
Mm.
and instead allowing ourselves to be guided by curiosity, intuition, and a deep trust in how our own unique paths unfold.
And as we cultivate that sense of trust and surrender, we start to tap into this deeper source of creativity, empathy, and compassion. We begin to see the world differently. We recognize the beauty and interconnectedness of all things, even in the middle of chaos and uncertainty.
So before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final thought-provoking question. It comes from all our exploration of Let It Be today. If poetry can be this catalyst for embracing vastness and cultivating empathy, what other forms of art could do the same for you? What might your own unique path of self-discovery look like?
That's a great question to think about. And I really encourage you to keep exploring it as you continue to venture outside your comfort zones and embrace the vastness of both your inner and outer worlds. Remember, the universe is vast, and within each of us lies an equally vast and uncharted territory, just waiting to be discovered.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into Let It Be self-discovery and empathy. Until next time, keep exploring, keep creating, and keep embracing the vastness of what it means to be human.